There are obviously a lot of young athletes who are training with that dream in mind to play college softball or professional softball or Olympic softball. And the most encouraging thing that I believe is that in 17 years, we've never had an athlete at Worth Club K that wanted to go to college and play ball and did not get the opportunity to do that. And obviously, we've seen the full gamut of talent and skill levels, but there are so many opportunities out there. So the one thing that we say to the girls, the athletes a lot of times, is be disciplined, learn to improve your skills. Pitching, hitting, softball in general, skills is skill. Certainly talent can help enhance that, but it's not everything. It's skill development. You can learn through repetition to pitch a ball. Anybody can pitch. A lot of people don't like me to say that, but anybody can pitch. Now, your talent may discern at what level you can pitch, but it's skill development. It's step straight, it's make the arm circle, make a nice loose release, and it's really fundamental. So I believe anyone can develop the skills for softball, and that's what I think the great thing about that is. So I think as long as someone adheres to a program, commits to it, and really has that dream and is able to follow through on it, just through practice and staying committed to the sport, I think they're going to get the opportunity to fulfill their dreams or goals. When you look at the recruiting process now for young athletes, it also has come through its own evolution through time, and that is that now we used to see athletes that were recruited in their senior year of high school, and then it went back to it was juniors and seniors, and you would see maybe some early commitments as a junior. Now you're seeing sophomores and even freshmen making early commitments. So it's crucial that athletes and their parents realize that recruiting process can start early. And unfortunately, I think for the athletes, because I think they're at an age sometimes where they're not ready to make the biggest decision thus far in their life, but it's thrown in front of them, and that's the way the recruiting process is going right now. But I think one of the things that's super important is to educate the athletes early, visit campuses, see how you are away from home, see what kind of a feel you like for a team or campus, familiarize yourself with teams and coaches. And then once it starts to get to the nitty-gritty, that you stay very organized in the recruiting process, because it's checks and balances. It's a school sends you a letter, you respond or you don't, but your response would trigger a follow-up from that school. So it's real important that you kind of know what's where. A lot of people will say, send out 100 letters of interest to coaches, and that's okay. But I think that if you're going to send out 100 letters and you get 100 responses and they're positive, then you have to really start trying to narrow it down quickly, because you obviously can't continue to correspond with 100 people at a time. So I think that's all important. I think it's realistic that players figure out where they can play, what level they can play, so that they're addressing the proper level for their competitiveness. And then it's really crucial that players play in the summer, and that if they're top players and if they want to compete at a high college level, that they're competing at a high amateur level. A lot of players will compete in their own backyard, and then they want to go play for the Oklahomas or the Tennessees of the world, who are top 10, top 5 programs, and that's probably not the athlete that those schools are going to focus on recruiting. Well, when you look at athletes and recruiting and you talk about, certainly skills are evaluated, but the intangibles come in with attitude. And I think that a lot of young players, young athletes don't realize how much those coaches are watching. They're watching when you strike out, what you do when you get in the dugout. They're watching when that home run goes over the fence, what the pitcher does with the next hitter. So I think that is crucial, how you react to things. I think in pitching in particular, it's mound presence, how confident you look there, because that is such a huge part of whether you're going to succeed as a pitcher or not. If you are intimidating, if you are confident, if you believe that you're better than the hitter. So we talk about that with the athletes, but those are intangibles. Sometimes those are tougher to coach. That's kind of what's inside an athlete. But I think you certainly look for those. And another thing that coaches look for is that dedication. You know, if an athlete is constantly drugged or goaded to practice by a parent, that parent's not going to be there in college. So if the athlete is not self-motivated, if they're not able to provide that discipline on their own programs and their own cycle of practicing and working on their skills, then they're going to be in trouble. So I think those are the things that coaches also are looking for when they look at any athlete, aside from the skill work. In pitching, mound presence is everything. If a hitter believes they can hit off you, if they believe they're better than you, they're probably going to win that battle. They step in the box with confidence. They know they're going to hit the ball and you're in trouble. So as a pitcher, a couple things are going to factor into mound presence. One, do you look determined? Do you look confident? Are you aggressive? And two is, how thick is your skin? Because I always say, you're not going to hear, the fans are not going to yell insults at your left fielder. It's everything is aimed at the person in the circle. You're sort of highlighted, and there's good stuff and bad stuff that comes along with that. But you have to be able to take it no matter what. And if you can get rattled, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you can get rattled, you're not going to be successful. Because as soon as everyone figures that out, and it will spread like wildfire, as soon as they figure it out, you're done.